มีมาปักกิ่งคนหนึ่งก็เป็นพี่น้องกันแล้วก็มีสิงคโปร์แล้วก็มาเลเซียให้ฟังภาษาอังกฤษได้ครับ
Can you all understand English?
Yes.
Okay. งั้นวันนี้ต้องเทศเป็นนานาชาติแล้วเป็นหลักสูตร2 ภาษาก็จะพูดภาษาอังกฤษไปก่อนก็แล้วกันแล้วเดี๋ยวก็ค่อยพูดภาษาไทยพูดให้ชาวต่างประเทศที่มาจากประเทศมาเลเซียได้ยินได้ฟังแล้วเดี๋ยวค่อยพูดภาษาไทยต่อ So I'm gonna talk in English first for the benefit of our visitor from Malaysia. My Dhamma talk is usually about looking after or taking care of things that you can take care, can look after, and abandoning things that you cannot look after or take care. Because if you look after things that you cannot look after, you will be disappointed and you will be sad and sorry. But if you look after things that you can look after, then you will be fulfilled, be satisfied, be happy. See, there are things that you can look after, and there are things that you cannot look after. The things that you cannot look after or keep them or have them for as long as you want are your wealth, your status, your fame, and your happiness that you can acquire through your body. These things are all temporary. They don't last forever. You can have wealth, you can also lose wealth. You can have status, you can also lose status. You can have fame, and you can also lose fame. You can have happiness through your body. You can also lose them. This thing the Buddha said that we should not go after or take care, look after them, because they are not permanent, they are not stable, they are all subjected to change. They come and go, arise and cease. If you go after this thing, look after this thing, when they disappear, you will become very unhappy, very sad. But there is one thing that you can look after and keep it with you all the time, and that is your mind or your heart or your spirit. This is the same thing. I refer to the thing that is different from your body. We use different terminology to refer to this non-physical aspect of ourself. Sometimes we call it the mind, the heart. Some religion call it the spirit, the soul. This is the same thing as far as I'm concerned. It is a thing that we belong to. We come from this thing. And this thing will always be with us all the time. regardless of whatever may happen to all the other things. Your wealth can come and go, your status can come and go, your fame can come and go, your happiness through your body can come and go. But your spirit never come and go. Your mind never come and go. It's always here with you. So if you look after your mind, make it happy, you can always have this happiness with you all the time, because it doesn't leave you. It stays with the mind all the time. But the problem is we are not looking after the mind. We are not generating or creating the happiness of the mind, because we go after the other kind of happiness. We go after wealth, after status, after fame, after happiness through our indulgence, our contact with sight, sound, smell, taste, and tactile objects. So we never have the real kind of happiness, because we never generate them, create them. We go after the wrong kind, the false kind of happiness, the temporary kind of happiness. We don't go after the real kind of happiness, the permanent kind of happiness. It's only the Buddha who had the wisdom to see this truth, to realize the two kinds of happiness, the real and the false kinds of happiness. So when he have realized, he then abandoned the false kind of happiness and go after the real kind of happiness. He left all his wealth behind, his fame, his status, the happiness that he could have through the body. He gave it all up and became a monk and go into seclusion, go live in the forest, away from all the false kind of happiness, and try to create, develop, and maintain the real kind of happiness. The real kind of happiness arises with the mind that is peaceful and calm, the mind that is free from delusion, the mind that is free from greed or hatred, the mind that is free from desire. The three kinds of desire that stir up the mind, agitate the mind, are the sensual desires, desire for sight, sound, smell, taste, tactile objects, desire to be and the desire not to be rich, to be famous, to have high status. These are the desires that we have to get rid of, eliminate, abandon, in order to bring the mind to become peaceful and calm, to be happy. So this is the work that we must do if we want to have the real kind of happiness. We must abandon our false kind of happiness. We should stop looking for wealth, looking for status, looking for fame, looking for happiness through our body, and go look after the real kind of happiness. In order to have this happiness, we have to live alone in seclusion, because when we live together, we tend to interact, and our interaction generally can create a lot of friction. And when we have friction, we don't have peace of mind. We have what you call bad feelings. So we have to force ourselves to go live in seclusion, to be far away from everything, because everything that we live with are all false. They cannot give us the real kind of happiness. Like living with people, we might feel happy, but at the same time we also will feel bad or feel sad when people change, when people disappear from us. When we have to go live alone, it is very difficult, because we are doing something against our desire that we have been accustomed to, been used to. So when we go live alone, we tend not to be able to do it for long. We might be able to go stay in a monastery for 3 days, 5 days, or 7 days, and then after that we feel like we want to go back to our fame, to our wealth, to our status, to our old kind of happiness, because we could not establish or develop the real kind of happiness yet. But if somehow we can develop this real kind of happiness, even just for a few minutes or a few seconds, it can change our attitude toward life, because we will see the real kind of happiness, and we will know that it is much better than the false kind of happiness, because this real kind of happiness doesn't have to rely on things to make us happy. We don't have to have wealth, we don't have to have status, we don't have to have fame, we don't even have to have the body to make us happy. It is the pure kind of happiness, the happiness of the mind. And we know that this will be the kind of happiness that will be with us all the time, because our mind doesn't disappear like all the other things. Our mind is permanent. The problem with our mind right now is that it doesn't have the permanent kind of happiness. It keeps generating the wrong kind of happiness by relying on wealth, status, fame, and the body to create this kind of happiness. When we lose wealth, when we lose status, we lose fame, we lose the body, then we cannot generate this kind of happiness. It then will generate unhappiness. Even just thinking about losing them already can generate bad feeling, generate sadness. When you think of losing someone you love, how do you feel? But can you stop this to happen? Can you stop from losing the one you love? Can you stop from losing the things you love? You cannot, because this is the nature of things. They are beyond our control. So if we are smart enough, we should abandon them instead of looking after them or go after them. We should go after the real kind of happiness, the kind of happiness that will never leave us, the kind of happiness that will be with us, stay with us all the time. That's the kind of the happiness that arises from peace of mind, from a mind that is peaceful and calm. In order to have this peaceful mind, we have to go and live alone, away from all the things that we used to have or used to like. Because if we are near the things that we used to have, used to like, we will be sucked back to them. That's why in the monastery we live in a environment that doesn't have this kind of happiness. In a forest monastery, in a real strict monastery, they will try to prevent all these things from coming into the monastery. Prevent all the kind of happiness that we are used to, accustomed to, like sight, sound, smell, taste, and tactile objects, wealth, fame, and status. These are the things that will be obstacles to our development of peace of mind. So we must not have them around us or be near them. That's why the Buddha had to leave the palace and went to live in the forest. That's the place where he could develop peace of mind. The way to develop peace of mind is you must be able to control your thought, because your thought that makes your mind agitated, that prevents your mind from being calm and peaceful. So you have to find a method, a way of stopping your thought. The Buddha said that there are several kinds of methods that we can use to stop our thinking or prevent our thoughts to think about things that will stir up the mind by creating desires, different kind of desire. So if we can prevent the mind from thinking about those things that can create desire, then the mind will not become agitated, and the mind will become peaceful and calm. So the Buddha said you have to focus your mind or your thought on one particular object, not to let it go thinking about other things. And this object that you want to use as your object of focus or concentration can vary from the various situation that you are in. Normally you can focus your mind on your body, like watch your body, every movement of your body. Whatever your body is doing, you must couple your mind to the body. Only be aware of just the body and its activity, and not thinking about other things. This is one way of preventing your mind from going thinking about every other thing. Like when you get up, when you open your eyes, you must tell yourself that I have to keep watching the body. From the time it gets up from the bed, stand up and start to do whatever it has to do, like going to the bathroom, washing, cleaning, dressing, do anything that the body is supposed to do. Your mind should be watching the body at all times. Not thinking about other things. Not think about what happened yesterday. Not thinking about what will happen tomorrow. But if you still have to think because you have obligation or you have duty, you have things you have to do, then you should just think about those things only. Like when you get up, you might ask yourself, what is today? What am I supposed to do today? Okay, you can think that. Once you know what you have to do, then you prepare yourself to go to do what you have to do. While you prepare yourself, you should stop thinking about the things that you have to do, because it's not yet the time for you to do it. Right now the time for you to do is to prepare yourself, like taking a shower, brushing your teeth, getting dressed, having breakfast. Whatever you do, just keep your mind with that activity. This is one way to prevent your mind from thinking about all kinds of things unnecessarily. We tend to do things and think about other things at the same time. We can be washing or taking a shower and then thinking about yesterday, last night, tomorrow. See, if you do this, it means you're not controlling your thoughts. You're not stopping your thoughts. You should stop your thought, because this kind of thinking doesn't bring any peace of mind. So you should just be watchful or observing. You should be aware of what you do, but you should not think. Just be aware. Just know what you are doing. If you cannot control your thought while you are doing these activities, then there's another way. You can use mental recitation. You can think of a word like the name of the Buddha, and you can recite the name of the Buddha mentally. In Thailand we call the Buddha Bhutto. So we can recite Bhutto, Bhutto from the time we get up. So when we get up, we wake up, we start reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, while we go and prepare ourselves for whatever activity we have to do on that day. Taking a shower, you just keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, brushing your teeth, Bhutto, Bhutto, eating, Bhutto, Bhutto. If you live with other people, don't talk. When you talk, then you start thinking about everything else. So your mind will not be focused. And when your mind is not focused, your mind cannot become peaceful or still. This is only preparation for calming your mind. In order to make your mind become fully calm or peaceful or still, you have to sit down and not do any activity. Like you have to sit down, close your eyes. You can sit in any way you like. You can sit cross-legged on the floor. If you cannot, you can sit on a chair. But if you want to sit for a long time, sitting on the floor cross-legged will be the most ideal position of sitting. But when you first started, you could not do this. Then you just have to find a position that you can sit comfortably, and then focus your mind on one particular object. When you sit, you can either continue with your mental recitation, Bhutto, Bhutto, or you can switch. You can use your breathing as your object of observation. You can just keep observing your breathing. When you breathe in, just be aware that you're breathing in. When you breathe out, just be aware that you breathe out. Don't force your breathing. Let your breathing be natural, just like before you come to sit down. before you sit, you never pay attention to your breathing. You leave your breathing alone. So when you sit and observe your breathing, you should leave it alone, just the way you did before. Just be aware. You want to use your breathing as a point of focus to prevent your mind from going thinking about other things. But if your concentration is not strong enough and you cannot watch your breathing and stop your thought from thinking about other things, then you might have to use the mental recitation instead. And this mental recitation can vary from different objects also. If you don't like the word Buddha, you can use the word Dhammo. If you don't like the word Dhammo, you can use the word Sangho, or you can use all three of them, Buddha, Dhammo, Sangho. Some people say they use Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi, Dhammāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi, Saṅghāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi. This can also be. There are many different methods. You just have to find one that you like, that can keep you concentrated and prevent you from thinking about other things. If you can persist on your concentration, your mind will become calm. Sometimes it can become calm very quickly, suddenly, like falling into a well, and then become peaceful and still. Or sometimes it will become calm, peaceful gradually, like slowly, step by step. This doesn't matter. It's not your problem to worry about how the mind becomes calm. Your problem or your responsibility is to keep on concentrating on one object, preventing your mind from thinking about other things. Keep focusing, keep concentrating on one object until the mind becomes peaceful and calm. When that happens, then you could stop, or your concentration will stop. You don't have to focus your attention anymore, because your mind becomes peaceful and it doesn't think about anything. Then if you arrive at that condition, you should just remain in that condition for as long as possible. Don't force your mind to go think about something else. Because if you do that, then you will lose your calm and your peacefulness and your happiness that arise from this state of mind. You want to keep the mind peaceful and calm and still for as long as possible. But when your mind becomes when it has rested long enough and it wants to get out of this state, then it will start to think. If you want it to go back to that state, then you have to start focusing your mind again, focusing your mind on one particular object again. Don't follow your thoughts, because when you start thinking, then you will start to have desire. And once you have desire, then you will lose this peacefulness. And when you go do according to what you want to do, your desire want to do, then you will go into the wrong kind of happiness. See, when you come out of meditation, when you start thinking about food, you might want to eat. You are thinking about beverages, then you want to drink. Thinking about television, thinking about your phone, then you want to start calling your friends, checking your phone, and all this sort of thing. then you will go back to your old ways, go back to your old kinds of happiness. If you want to maintain this peace of mind that you have developed through your meditation, then you must resist this desire. You must continue on with your focusing, your observing of your meditation object. You have to continue on with your mental recitation, or continuing with observing, watching your body. You can do things, do whatever you have to do, but do only things that are absolutely necessary, like maintaining your body, like eating, but you have to control your eating. You should eat for your body, not eat for your desire. So if you eat for your body, you should only eat once a day. That's enough for the body. You can eat all you want, but only eat once a day. It's like filling up the tank of your car. Just fill it one time. You don't have to fill it 3 or 4 times. Fill it one time and fill it fully. Once you have it full, then you don't need to fill it up again until it becomes empty. The same thing with the body. Once you eat and have become until your body becomes full, then you don't have to eat for another 24 hours. This is one way of trying to curb or control your desire. See, normally we don't just eat for the body alone. We also eat for our desire. Sometimes the body has enough food already, but our desire still wants more. So we keep eating more. And this will become an addiction that is hard to stop. People become overweight and they could not get rid of their weight because they could not stop eating. Because they don't have this mental strength to resist their desire. But if you can develop this ability to concentrate on one object, you can then control your desire. Because then you will not be able to think about food, about things you want to eat or drink. So this is very important. The development of this concentrating ability, in Pali we call it sati. Sati, which translates as mindfulness. So this is what you have to do if you want to succeed in your meditation, if you want to succeed in overcoming or controlling your desire. You have to have mindfulness. And mindfulness must be developed at all times, during your waking hours, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. In order to be able to develop this mindfulness, you have to be alone and have no other work to do, like being a monk or being a nun. See, if you still have to work, then you will not be able to maintain or develop your mindfulness, because you have to get involved with people and your work, and this requires a lot of thinking. And when you think, then you cannot stop, you cannot control your thought, because the event, the situation will drag your thought along from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. So you would never have the time or the ability to develop mindfulness. And when you come and sit in meditation, you will not find any peace of mind, because you cannot concentrate on your mental object. You cannot focus your mind on your breathing. You cannot recite Bhutto, Bhutto, because your mind still think about work about people that you have engaged with. So in order to be successful in the path of the Buddha, you have to be a monk or live like a monk. Like you should not have any work to do. If you live, you should live alone, maybe in your apartment or your house, and then you should just maintain your mindfulness, keep controlling your thoughts and your desire, like eating once a day, and the rest of the day don't have anything but water. Don't drink, because when you drink, you generally want to have, you desire to drink for the taste of the beverage. If you want to drink for your body, then you should just drink empty water, pure water. Don't drink beverages, because it will make you become addicted, like coffee, tea, and all other kinds of beverages. If you want to get rid of your sensual desire, your desire for taste, for smell, then you should only drink water, because that's what your body really needs. It doesn't need the taste and the smell. It is your desire that needs these things. And if you want to have peace of mind, you have to eliminate your desire. In order to eliminate your desire, you must not do what your desire wants you to do. After you have resisted your desire for a while, then your desire will disappear. Like people who give up drinking alcohol or smoking, they have to resist their desire to smoke or to drink. And after they have resisted for a while, then this desire will disappear. They don't come back anymore. So it is the same with all the other kinds of desire. In order to be able to resist your desire, you must have a peaceful mind. Because when you have a peaceful mind, you have contentment, you have happiness, you have a sense of fullness, fulfillment. You don't feel you are hungry or you need something. See? So when you have desire, then you can resist this desire very easily. But when you don't have peace of mind, and when you have desire, you'll find it very difficult, very hard to resist your desire. That's why the Buddha said, we must first develop peace of mind, or samadhi. In order to develop samadhi, we have to have sati, or mindfulness. We must first control our thoughts. If we can control our thoughts, when we sit in meditation, we can get the mind to stop thinking completely and become completely still and peaceful and happy. Once we have this peacefulness and happiness, when we come out of meditation, we can use this to fight our desire. When we have desire, then we should use panya or wisdom that the Buddha teach us to use in order to permanently get rid of a desire. Is to teach the mind that whatever we desire for is only temporary happiness, and it will become an addiction. Instead of letting you become free, you will become slave to your desire. If you follow your desire, do what your desire want to do, then you will have to keep on doing it. Like when you desire to have a cigarette, once you take that cigarette, then a few hours later you will have another desire to have another cigarette. And as long as you keep do what your desire wants you to do, then your desire will keep on coming back If you want to get rid of your desire, then you must not do what your desire wants you to do. And if you know that whatever you want to do will not bring you to happiness anyway, then you can stop your desire or stop doing what your desire wants you to do. Because you don't want to become sad or unhappy later when you lose the things that you love, lose the thing that you like to do. So this is what we call wisdom or insight, vipassana or panya. This comes after you have your mind peaceful and calm. Then you can use your peaceful mind calm to fight your desire with wisdom, with insight, by seeing that everything that you desire for is only temporary, and you cannot keep it with you or control it. It will come and go anytime it likes. When it comes, you can be happy, but when it goes, you can be sad. If you don't want to be sad, then you should not go after it. You should leave it alone. You should come back to your real happiness, that is, to your peace of mind. When you stop your desire, then you will have your peace of mind back. When you go after your desire, you will lose your peace of mind. So this is what we have to do. If we want to have the real happiness, the true kind of happiness, the lasting kind of happiness, we must practice meditation. We must give up all kinds of happiness, giving up our money, because we use our money to buy things to make us happy. But when we don't have money, we will not be able to do so. And instead of being happy, we will be sad. So we must not rely on wealth, not on status, not on fame, not on our body to acquire happiness for us, because it is only a temporary kind of happiness. We must rely on our mind to bring us the real kind of happiness. By practicing meditation, by developing mindfulness, developing calm, and developing wisdom or insight. If we have mindfulness, have calm, have insight or wisdom, then we will be able to maintain the real kind of happiness all the time. This is what the Buddha did, and this is what he taught us to do. If we want to have the real kind of happiness, if we want to stay away from the false kind of happiness, stay away from the sadness that comes with the false kind of happiness, then we must do what the Buddha did. This is the only way. So this is the message that I bring to you today. If you have any question you would like to ask, you can.
What if you say, the person you say, what if you love someone but not with the body but with the mind? Like say your family, which is something very pure. Isn't it natural to be upset when you lose them?
Yeah, because what you love is something that is not permanent. See?
It seems very apathetic to me, like a lot of apathy in the sense that it helps you be more mindful and helps you get calmness with the mind and your happiness. But it seems very apathetic, isn't it? No? In a sense, it's very for yourself in that sense.
Because you love something that you will lose one day. See? So if you lose, then you become sad naturally. If you don't love the thing that you lose, you won't become sad, right? So your problem is your love. You should love in such a way that it will not make you become sad. You can do that also by preparing yourself for their disappearance. You have to remind yourself all the time that they will leave you, they will disappear from you one day. But as long as they are still with you, you can love them. So this is love without delusion, love with wisdom, love by knowing that one day you will have to lose that love. If you know ahead of time, then you won't feel sad when they leave you. That's why the Buddha said we must reflect on separation all the time. Our life is always end up in separation. And if we are prepared for this eventuality, then we will not be sad. The problem is we're not preparing ourselves for this eventuality. We deny this eventuality. We don't want to think about this eventuality. So when this eventuality happens, we cannot accept it. See? But if we prepare ourselves, telling ourselves every day that our contact, our engagement here is only temporary. Like coming here, you know this is temporary. When you leave, you won't feel sad, right? Because you don't expect to stay here all the time. You don't expect to be with me all the time. So when you go, you're happy to go. See? So it's a matter of your attitude towards things. Right now we have wrong attitude towards things. We look at things to be permanent. We want things to be permanent when they are not. See? And when they leave you, then you become sad. That's all. But if you switch your attitude, look at everything as temporary, then you won't feel sad when things leave you or when you leave them. See? Simple. It's just change your attitude. Change your perception. We have wrong perception. Our perception is ignorant based, not wisdom based. So we have to teach us the wisdom. The truth is the wisdom. The truth is that everything is impermanent. Everything is not under our control. We cannot control them. They can leave or come anytime, any place, at any time. We don't know when they're going to leave us. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be 10 years from now. Yeah. But we have to know ahead of time. See, so when we know ahead of time, then we can get ready for this. When it happens, then we won't be caught off guard. See, we are usually caught off guard because we never prepare ourselves for things. When they happen, they say, you ask why. Why do you ask why when it happens? People keep asking why. Why ask why? There's no why. There's no answer. It's the truth. See, things are like this. Why ask why? Because you want them to be different. That's why you ask why. But if you know that this is how things gonna happen, then you don't have to ask why. Do you ask why the sun comes up in the morning? Why does it set in the evening? You don't ask because you accept it, right? So you should accept everything like you accept the sun and the rain. They're the same thing. You cannot control them. They are like natural occurrences. Your body is like this. It born and then it gets sick, it get old and die, and it dies. When it dies, you don't know. When it gets sick, you don't know. But you can expect it, that it will get sick and it will die one day. And if you know that it's not you, your body is just your piece of possession, that's all. Just like your clothing. But we don't know this. We look at the body as ourself. We don't know our real self. See? Our real self is the mind, the spirit. We have to discover our mind, our spirit first. And the only way to discover our mind and spirit is to meditate. When your mind becomes calm and it let go of everything else, then you'll see the mind alone by itself. Then you'll know, oh, this is me, this is myself. this is my real self, then you know that the body is not yourself. See? Then you can be ready for whatever happens to your body, because you know you're not losing yourself. Right now, when you lose your body, you think you lose yourself also. Because you place yourself in the body, not in the mind. See, you should place yourself in the mind. That's where it belongs. That's where it comes from. You place yourself in the body. So when your body leaves you, you feel sad. This is the benefit that you will get from meditating, developing mindfulness, sitting in meditation to calm your mind and teach your mind the truth, that everything isn't you. They don't belong to you. They are just your temporary possession. The only thing that belongs to you is your mind. And the only way to have happiness is to have peace of mind. And in order to have peace of mind, you have to give up everything. Abandon everything. Don't rely on everything to make you happy. Right now you depend on everything to make you happy. So when everything that you rely on disappears, you become sad. And instead of learning this lesson, you keep getting you keep replacing the thing that you lose. And you go back to the same old problem again. You replace the thing that you lose. The thing that you replace will also disappear again. Then you become sad again. See, this is what we keep repeating all the time. Like we keep repeating, changing, replacing the body. When this body disappears, we come back and get a new body. Be born again and get a new body, and do the same thing again. Relying on the body for your happiness. Until you lose this body, then you become sad. Then you go look for a new body, and you're born again with a new body. And you go through this process countless of times. And we keep on doing this if you don't follow what the Buddha did or teach you to do. If you do like what the Buddha did or he taught you to do, then you will stop this vicious cycle. Then you won't have to become sad every time you lose your body. The Buddha said there is no sadness for those who doesn't born. As long as you are born, you will become sad, because when you are born, your body will get sick, get old, and die. And when they do, you will become sad. If you don't want to become sad, then you should not have a body. You don't need to have a body. It's your delusion. Because you haven't found the Buddha. You haven't heard the Buddha's teaching. If you have found the Buddha and heard his teaching, then you will know that you don't need to have anything to make you happy permanently. All you have to do is give up your desire.
Sometimes when we make adhikana or determination, we've been told that it's good to make a determination that you can complete it. So when you achieve and you complete this determination, your adhikan parami increases. So recently we have also been told to try and make an adhikan to when your mind is calm or after a sit, to make a determination that maybe be able to see the Dhamma in this very lifetime. I find that when I make that, I tend to feel that that's very ambitious. And what happens if I do want to achieve that, but what happens if you don't achieve that in this very lifetime? So what is your view on making a determination to to help us to make a strong determination. We say, may we see the Dhamma in this lifetime.
You can have what I call 2 levels of determination. Your ultimate determination and your current determination. See, your ultimate determination is to become enlightened. Okay, but right now your situation or your position doesn't have that ability to obtain that ultimate goal yet. So you should seek the immediate goal that you can achieve easily first. Like, for instance, become a nun first. Give up your status, give up your wealth, give up your bodily, physical kind of happiness first. So you should do something that you can achieve right now first, and then go on from there. Like the Buddha say, first of all, if you haven't yet maintained the 5 precepts in your daily life, see if you can do that. Maintain it every day. Keep the 5 precepts every day. Once you could keep the 5 precepts every day, then on the observance day, on the special day, once a week, you keep the 8 precepts instead. See, you have to go step by step. You cannot just jump from first grade to the university. You have to go from first grade to second grade to third grade and so forth. Keep going step by step. But you know your ultimate goal is to graduate from the university, right? But you don't go attend the university when you enter kindergarten. You have to go step by step. Start from where you are, from what you can do, and then keep on adding up your determination higher and higher. So you need two goals really, your ultimate goal and your immediate goal. So right now you have to ask yourself, what is your immediate goal? Can you do it? Can you achieve it or not? And then you go after that goal first. Once you achieve that goal, then you will become encouraged. You will have the feeling that you can achieve something. So you move on to the next goal. It's like an athlete. He starts from a local sport, local competition first before he moves up to national, to international competition. You have to go step by step according to your current ability. It's stupid or it's useless to aim for the highest goal when you won't have the ability to achieve that. Because if you do that, then you become discouraged and you will give up your determination. See, that's what could happen to a lot of people when they start thinking of the ultimate goal and they say, "Oh, I cannot do this. It's just too much for me to do it." It's like when you're in kindergarten and think of going to the university, you say, "Oh, I could not do that." But if you keep going from one grade to the next, you will be able eventually arrive at your ultimate goal.
Is it necessary every time make adithan after sitting if one has already no determination inside the mind or attention?
Yeah, you don't have to. Every day you do things, you have adithan without doing it officially or formally. Like when you eat, you have to have determination, but you don't have to say, "I'm gonna eat," before you eat, right? So you don't have to have this formal determination. As long as you know what you have to do and do it, that's all. Keep doing it. Don't give up. First you have to define your goal and then define the path toward that goal. And then you have to just keep moving toward that goal. Whether you get there quicker or slower, it depends on how much you do. If you do a lot, you naturally will get there quicker. If you do less, you will get there slower. The Buddha said different people can achieve the goal differently. Like when he gave the Satipatthana Sutta, at the end he said, if you practice it according to the way he teaches, you can either achieve it in 7 years, 7 months, 7 days. So he doesn't say everybody will finish in 7 years. Somebody can do it in 7 months. Somebody can do it 7 days. Because we all have different ability and different determination, different what we call how hardworking we are. If we are hardworking, we naturally will get there quicker than those who are a lot less hardworking.
Let's say you try to meditate and try okay, like you said, the moment you achieve the peace, then you become very happy. And then you say, okay, I can take a rest. Then when you take a rest, it's all gone again. Then, but the thing is, how do you know you're right? When you're right, what happens? Really, you just keep being peaceful.
As long as when you're peaceful, you generally don't think about anything. See, when you start thinking about this and that, then you will lose your peacefulness. So you have to maintain your thought. You maintain your mindfulness. Keep controlling your thoughts. Try not to think about people or things.
For how long?
All the time. All the time. From the time you get up to the time you go to sleep.
It seems very unnatural, like you're in a suspended state, And you can try, and then you achieve that state where you don't think of anything. But to me, it's like you reach that stage, then okay, I made it, I done it, and then you come back.
Yeah, you have to maintain it. See, you don't come back. You have to say that by coming back, when you come back, you're going back to sadness and happiness. Yeah.
I feel like suspended in that frozen state. I cannot, I'm very vigilant. The moment I'm not watching it, I go back to the normal state.
Yeah, that's what you have to do until it becomes natural. Once it becomes natural, then you don't feel like, feeling you are forcing yourself anymore. But when you first do it, you have to force yourself. Like teaching a dog a new trick. Like teaching yourself to use a different hand. If you're used to use your right hand, but somehow you have an accident and you cannot use your right hand, so you have to force yourself to use your left hand. When you first do it, you feel unnatural. But after you do it for a while, it will feel natural afterward.
I have a question of meditation. For sitting, right now what I do is I watch the breathing, and then when the mind gets a little bit more calmer, I will feel like the mind doesn't want to focus on the breathing anymore. And then at that time, I allow the awareness to open up. And when it opens up, it becomes very peaceful. And sometimes until I will try to maintain, but sometimes when I start to see more thoughts coming in, or when I start to see drowsiness coming in, then I go back to the breathing.
That's the correct way. As long as your mind doesn't think, then you don't need to have to focus.
It's okay?
It's okay. But when your mind starts thinking, then you have to refocus again. See, the purpose of focusing is to prevent your mind from thinking. When your mind don't think, your mind become empty, peaceful. Then you don't need to focus.
Because when I focus, then it becomes a lot of doing. It becomes like, it's like there's a very big of a self doing this meditation.
Actually, if your mind become really peaceful, then this focusing will disappear automatically. It's like eating. When you become full, you stop eating. automatically. You don't have to force yourself to eat. So you might not get to that point yet, to the point where the focusing and your thought disappear completely, and your mind becomes still, peaceful, and at ease.
So, I just maintain this, to force the mind to.
As long as your mind don't go think about other things. If the mind just remain peaceful and calm and not thinking about anything, then you don't have to.
Sometimes there are thoughts coming in, but the mind is aware.
Yeah, don't go after the thought. If the thoughts start coming in, then you should go focus on your breathing. That means your mind hasn't yet become perfectly still. When the mind becomes perfectly still, all the thoughts will disappear. There will be just knowing.
Yeah, but so when there are thoughts, as long as there's no awareness, you're aware that these thoughts not sucked into the thoughts, it's okay. Is it okay?
That's okay also. If you're not sucked into the thought or sucked toward the sound that you hear or the feeling of your body, you're not disturbed by the pain of your body, then it's okay. If your mind doesn't feel disturbed by these things, then that means your mind is in neutral mode. That's where you want to get the mind to become neutral, to have no likes or dislike. Okay, I think I have to end this English session, because then I can I'll give you the Anumodana. Okay.
I always I have this problem in deciding how much work to do, because I run a business. I have a husband, and we have a son. So we still have obligation towards parents, towards children.
Just to have enough for the basic, the four requisites of life: food, shelter, clothing, and medicine. No vacation, no luxury things. Just the basic.
Yeah, we live quite basic now, because my husband and I we are precise most of the time.
Okay.
The mind also has this habit of thinking about the future, about the children.
If it thinks about the future, think about death. That's the ultimate future. Okay? The Buddha said you should reflect on death all the time. This will dispel all your delusion. Which means everybody will die, so you don't have to worry about them too much. Just to be alive in the present is enough. Don't worry about the future.
So we don't have to plan.
Not too much. Just plan to have enough food to eat. Have a place to stay. Don't worry about education or status or wealth, anything like that. Just worry about the four requisites. That's all you have to worry about.
For me, myself, a lot of attachment and a lot of defilement. So
think of death. Yeah, think of that. Everybody will die. When you think of that, then you can let go of your attachment. Just keep thinking that we're all gonna die.
But it's very difficult to let go.
Well, if you keep thinking about that, then you will find it easier to do after it. But you have to do it a lot. Right now, it's not real yet to you. Death is not real to you yet. But if you keep thinking, and one day you see somebody die, then this thing might come back to you, become real to you. But you should try to think about it, so that when it happens, you don't become sad or go mad, go crazy. Because at least you prepare yourself for the truth.
And what about determination? Sometimes the defilement is stronger than the wisdom, and
when the defilement take over the wisdom, the mind is thinking this is the correct way, but the defilement is always override the wisdom.
Well, it just means that you have to have stronger determination.
How to make the stronger determination?
You have to punish yourself when you fail every time. Like if you fail on your determination, then you should give $10,000 to charity. Punish yourself. Or stop eating for one day. Okay, I'll give the Anumodana. Yā thā vā ri̩ vā hā purā pari purenti sākarang eva me va ito tinang petanang upakapati ichitang patitang tumhang kipa me va samiccato sapphe purentu sankapa janto panna raso yatha manichoti raso yatha saphiti yo vivachantu sapparo ko vinasato ma te bhavatavantarayo sukhi ti kayuko bhava apivatanasi litsa nijjang vuttha pajayino jattaro dhamma vatanti ayuvano sukhang phalang พวกเราญาติโยมชาวไทยก็คิดว่าเรามาทำบุญวันนี้ทำธรรมทานก็แล้วกันนะเดี๋ยวไปตามฟังได้ใน Facebook นะครับเดี๋ยวใครไม่เข้าใจเดี๋ยวคุยต่อได้ถามได้ว่าคุยเรื่องอะไรบ้างวันนี้โอเคYeah, you can go into my website. I have some other recorded talks in English. The website is called phrasuchart.com. PHRASUCHART. Yeah. phrasuchart.com. There's an English section there. You can go in and listen to the talk or watch the video. Or read the books in that book that you have there. Okay. I hope you progress on your path. Finish your job this life. This talk will be posted in the Facebook that you can listen to. Tomorrow. Yeah, in the website or in the Facebook page. That website will have a link to the Facebook page. You can. And I have other talks. Last week we have a group of students from Europe. I gave a talk also. It's called Asian University students. And a few months ago we have a group of Singaporean lay people came here also. So you can listen to those talks also. ก็มีอยู่ 5-6 อัน 4-5 อันอะไรเนี่ยค่อยๆสะสมไปทีละนิดทีละหน่อยโอเค